Welcome to this week's edition of The Hollywood Conversation. I'm Kenobi Johnson. This week, we'll be speaking with blockbuster writer, producer, director, and owner of RC Entertainment, Erwin Rodriguez Jr., who has brought us cinematic genius with titles such as Radiant Evolution, The Calm Summer Night, and The Time Clock. It's a pleasure meeting with you today, Mr. Rodriguez.
It's a pleasure to be here.
We're going to jump right in. My first question for you is, what was the inspiration into your filming and production career?
The inspiration really, that's a tough question. It kind of goes back to when I was a kid, always wanting to film things and really always had a camera in my hand and always wanted to and really capture what was going on so that other people could see it. But I'd say the inspirations are really some of the movies I saw, especially like the Steven Spielberg ones, where he's very creative and uses his imagination. Those was really good for me to see those types of movies and say, well, I can do that, and other movie producers as well, that they were able to get what they wanted or what they pictured in their head to be able to be on a screen where everybody could see it. Well, that was part of my inspiration.
Awesome. That's an excellent answer. I don't think most people would have answered the way that you did. It's interesting to see your take on things. What film was the turning point for your career?
That's not a good question. I really have to think about that one. But I have to say, this goes back to the 80s, back when they called me to do Bloodsport. And you're probably going to laugh at that. But that movie, when that came out, or what I should say, when they called me to do that movie, I thought, I had to think. I didn't actually have to think it over at all. It was a big budget. They had known actors. Jean-Claude Van Damme was hot at the time. So being able to work with him was only going to increase my resume and then help me to create something good. And that movie kind of propelled me into the next level. Obviously, 20 years later, you look at that movie and it is what it is. However, at that time, it was a great movie. Or a great opportunity to further my career. And that was a fun movie as well. People like that movie. People still watch it. It's on TNT all the time. And it's a great movie. So yeah, I would have to say, if I have to name one movie that would propel me into the next category of my filmmaking career, I would have to say good old Bloodsport.
And you were like 9 at the time that you directed that.
Yeah.
That was really, really amazing.
I'm older than I look. You got money, you can get those facials.
Now here's a question a lot of people want to know. What obstacles did you have to overcome?
What obstacles? Really, what obstacles didn't I have, if you really want to ask it that way? Starting from being young and unknown, trying to ask people to, hey, you want to work on this project with me? And then they'll be like, no, I don't think so. I don't even know who you are. But then the equipment, there's so many things that are involved with making a movie or a short film, or things are, especially back in the day, things were much more expensive, much more big, and you had to really plan things out a lot more carefully. Now you can shoot a whole movie or a little short clip with just a few cameras and a few lights, and you'll be good to go. But I know another part that really was difficult was I didn't go to New York Film Academy or any place like that, and places where you probably should go to get the proper training. But I didn't go to any of those places, and trying to basically make it big and be recognized without having that type of formal training, and kind of training myself as I go along, that makes it very difficult. Very difficult, specifically in the beginning, obviously, because nobody really knows you, or you try and say, oh, I can help you out with this film or with the project that you're working on, and they say, no, you can't, what have you done? So that could be, that was difficult to overcome. But once you start doing a couple of things people actually like, and you do, even if they're short half an hour clip long or short movies or short films that people actually like it, then all of a sudden it's like, oh, hey, I like that, and this guy did it. So they start to associate your name with something they like, and then all of a sudden it gets easier from there. But trying to be able to create that from the beginning is a little difficult when no one gives you the opportunity, because you don't have that formal training that people like to see on a paper.
What built the need for you to have the umbrella companies?
Umbrella companies. I get asked this question quite a bit, and I finally, I think, come up with a decent answer. But when you get to be in the big leagues, if you want to call it, people want to steal your people. So what you have to do is kind of almost split up everything you have into subsections, so that if, say, my friend or whatever director wants to say, hey, you know what, I need to borrow your sound equipment or your sound guys or the video, or they just need some help with the logos or something like that, then you can say, okay, well, this part of my company will be assigned to that type of project. And it's you basically just subdivide it that way, so that it's just easier to figure out who's doing what. And also when you hire someone, you know where to stick them, really. If they're going to be a graphic artist, or if they're going to be some lighting, part of the lighting crew or part of the sound technicians, then you just kind of know where they're going to be going, and they know who they're associated with. Obviously, everybody's being paid by the same company ultimately, but they are part of that sub company that can be assigned to many different projects, not just the ones that I work on. And say I don't want to do a movie for 3 years, we can still offer that company services to do other movies.
You got your start as a podcaster. I mean, you've done so many other things at this point, but when it came down to it, you started as a podcaster. What was that experience like?
It was a lot of fun, actually. You can do so much in podcasting. I still like to do podcasting. I still do it out of my home. That's actually one of the best parts about it. You can do it wherever. You can do it out of your home, in a studio, made up. You can do it with your friends. It can be a lot of fun. You can make it whatever you want. And sometimes I even do it under fake names, so that nobody knows really who is it that's doing it, especially if it's just a voice. But it is a lot of fun, specifically because you have no one regulating what you're saying either. The FCC isn't out to get you. Or if you say the word, but, it doesn't turn from G to PG all of a sudden. It's just, it is what it is. Whatever you want it to be is what it is. And I've done many different podcasts about different topics, but it was fun with being able to have that experience, especially when you start doing from voice to camera and having that transition. It's a big jump. So it kind of gives you a lot of pre-practice to doing real movies or shorts or anything like that. It gives you a lot of practice with that, and you're able to kind of goof off with your friends. There's no pressure, which is why it is also fun.
Now for the question why you're really here. Everyone wants to know, what was the process for Radiant Evolution?
Radiant Evolution. Yeah, that was a good movie. It's a good movie. Nobody's seen it yet because it's coming out this weekend. But, I think it's a great movie. I think everybody should go see it. Now, the process behind it was really a long process. The script came to me, and this is not one that I wrote, and I really liked it. I liked the idea of robots basically taking over, and this is a theme that's been done many times, and I know everybody's already seen similar movies with the idea, but this takes on a whole different twist, which unfortunately I can't really get into completely since I still want you to see the movie. But basically, it is about aliens, not about aliens.
Robots.
It's about robots who are taking over. And obviously they try and gain people's trust, and everybody wants to welcome the robots because they're the latest and greatest thing. But, then they start to, like most films, they do start to progress on their own. And that's obviously where the evolution part of the title comes from. There's a lot that goes on in the film, and I really wish that I could tell you more. I really have already told you too much. But let's just, we'll end it at that. It was a long process. Good acting, some complications with the actors, but we got through it. But basically, it was just a long process, and I wish I could tell you more, but that's basically it.
Can you tell us about the CGI on that film?
CGI, I mean, it's latest technologies. We have, because we've done so many good movies, the investors, I should say, give us the latest equipment to work on, and we have really good graphic artists and artists that really come up with that. So some of these scenes, you look at it and it's fake, it's a machine, but you would never even really think about that. It's not like how it was, back in the day, or even not so back in the day with like Lord of the Rings or things like that. That movie took those types of graphics to another level, but that was 10, 12 years ago, whatever. We're so much further than that now. So when you look at it, you may not even know that you're looking at a screen that's just one person surrounded by a green screen. It's you would just not know, and that's how good we basically are when it comes to that.
Thank you. Well, that's all the questions and time we have for today, so we're all done with that. It was really nice meeting you, sir.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Hope to have you back soon.
Yeah.
Working on some new projects.
Nice to be here.
Awesome.
Take care.
And that's a wrap. Well, that wraps up our questions, and we're all out of time for this week, so we appreciate you coming through. We love everything that you do. Is there anything at all you can tell us about an upcoming project?
I really shouldn't be saying anything because you know how lawyers.
Yeah.
However.
But you own all the companies. You're the head guy.
I don't know about that. That's what everybody seems to think, but that means they can just come at me with their money. I don't know.
Come at me with their money?
They're trying to sue me as they're trying to
Come at me with their money, and I'll take it.
All right, this is going to make a great blooper reel, But